So we're here today at the furthest Shell station closest to the second link because we're here today for the Audi Fuel Efficiency Challenge. Oh, that's quite familiar because I've done this before in another life. Anyway, my teammates today are Aiden from Motorist, Shochin from Echikama, and the ever so gorgeous Gear Girl. So here's the thing, we're going to go all the way to Ipoh and we're going to backtrack to JL to see who's got the greatest mileage. Well, our trip will also include this gorgeous Audi A5 because it will include a photo challenge along the way. So let's see what's going to happen.
So we had the A3's tanks filled and then sealed. And that would be the start of 2025's edition of the Audi Fuel Efficiency Challenge. Aiden and Trishan would be doing the heavy lifting by taking the first leg of the journey all the way to Ipoh. But in order to win, we had a plan. We were going to reconnect at the Petronas station right after the second link.
So we're going to strategize right now. We're going to start moving some stuff from the A3 into the A5 because, well, that's all about saving some weight.
But we were also taking things a lot further by driving as much as possible without the comfort of air conditioning. However, as our competition could catch on to our plan, Aiden and Trishan made haste and found a spot later on and cued the music. Well, except we don't have the budget for that other piece of music. Yes, now we have our very own roadside aero kit. But back in the E5, things got a little philosophical.
That's it, bro. Like we're gonna do this.
It's one more stop, so it means that we are not. It means that they're going to spend more on fuel.
Yeah.
Just taking out that car again. So every little gram, every little stop counts, right? So
they stopped twice already, which is bad because we already have our fuel cap sealed. We don't know the part.
And back in the A3, there was another stop.
You know the fact that the tape is flying off at
we are just south of KL, but we've just made this decision that we should not stop in KL. We are going straight to Ipoh, which will give us a lot of time, a lot of headway to shoot our photos before we break for lunch.
A change in scenery meant that we were getting closer. So Singh had found her spot, and I had found mine. With that done, we caught up with the super sweaty pair of Aiden and Trishan during lunch. On a good note, their time of hypermiling the Audi A3 has come to an end because the next day it will be up to Singh and I to take over the wheel. We retire for the night at the beautiful Banjaran Hot Springs retreat and have dinner served in a cave.
So morning guys, so we are about to embark from Ipoh to KL right now and we are taking the car over from Trishan and Aiden who have happily taped the entire A3 up, which I'll show you right now. Well, so what really gets me is that this is the rear wheel which has been taped up. It's got it's quite nice handiwork really. So this is the reduced drag. We're going to do some minor touching up before we head off, and we need to do this first. We're going to do what they did, which is tape an entire USB powered fan here, and the reason why we're going to do that is because we're not going to drive with the air conditioning on. Well, that takes up some of the fuel economy. So it's not really a real world test. It's more of a test of the spirit, in the spirit of competition, to see how far and how much we can hypermile the car. Don't do this at home, people. You're gonna end up like really yuck and all that. And we don't really recommend this, but we're just trying to see how far we can take this car on a single tank of fuel, and we're going to see how much there is left at the end of the competition. But yeah, this is really important. Singh will be taking the very first leg of the journey. So our teammates have left the economy at 27.3. Actually, it was 27.4 kilometers per liter. That's quite impressive, really. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to maintain some standards. If we can get a better drop on fuel economy, why not? Let's get this done. Right now, we are just setting up Spotify. Singh is probably going to roll her eyes at me if she's going to find out what songs are in there because, Gen Z versus Gen X. It's quite a big jump, isn't it? Okay, so we're playing this little game of lift off wherever we can. So the A3 is a mild hybrid car, if for those who do not know, and it's mounted with a dual clutch transmission. So this is a thing. A very unique thing about dual clutch transmissions is that they can completely disengage without resistance. So it's this whole thing about no resistance from the transmission that we are using to get the car to coast. And of course, because the car can coast, the engine turns off, and that's how we get efficiency right now.
Oh my God,
But yeah, you gotta guess it already. Yeah.
Okay, no, he's overtaking.
All right.
Sorry.
Okay, so whatever it is, we still make it to that toll
Yeah,
counter.
toll just
So-
all the way, bro. I
Yeah.
am trained in not stopping in tolls.
Holy.
I'm trained in this.
Okay, you heard that. Okay, so Singh is trained in not stopping at tolls. Okay, we got
That's
that.
how good it is.
Yeah, so she's got the fly swatter thing going on. I really want to see this. Oh, okay, careful. Well, due to technical. I know. Yeah, okay, good. Okay, so due to some technical complications, Singh didn't get a wish where she would not stop and then she'll roll the car and etc. So
Next go,
Yeah.
try and be better luck.
she doesn't look too happy right now.
You see who race me and the van, who faster.
She's gonna
Van's gonna accelerate.
yeah, she's gonna reverse race the truck, like who loses wins, right? And we got this really cheesed off truck driver.
With Singh putting on a show of very disciplined driving, we managed to overtake our team's original benchmark of 27.4 kilometers per liter, and our numbers kept climbing. And then for the drive into KL, it was my turn to take over the wheel. Our economy by now was 33.7 kilometers per liter. But traffic wasn't looking too good.
The route to St. Regis,
Yeah.
small dot of red,
Okay.
a medium-sized stretch of orange.
Alright.
That's exiting highway.
That's a gem.
Yes, in KL.
Singh has just found a little bit of a gem coming up from where our hotel is, which is at St. Regis. So fuel economy will definitely take a thrashing, but on top of that, we have a time penalty if you're going to be late. So unfortunately, I have to speed the car up. Fuel efficiency is still a magnificent 32.8 kilometers per liter. But yeah, it's bound to go down into its 20s by the time we at KL.
Due to a poorly installed fan, this was the scene in the car. Well, I mean, the difference between the two of us was quite uncanny. So with the car parked,
We're breaking for lunch. We finished our challenge. Get this, we drove into KL, city center, and into St. Regis Hotel to park the car. But even with KL's notoriously heavy traffic, we managed to do this with 30.2 kilometers per liter. A lot of this contribution comes from Singh, who has done a fantastic job in giving us mileage. Thank you.
so that's it. KL marked the end of this year's edition of the Audi Fuel Efficiency Challenge, and the next day we drove back to Singapore.
Hey guys, we're right at the end of our fuel efficiency challenge with the Audi A3, but also our teammates have come back with that. That is the Audi E5 that we drove up to Malaysia with, to Ipoh with, and well, our team was split into two. So there is Aiden and Trishian in one half of the team, which they did a fantastic job of driving up to, Ipoh without the air conditioning on, and Singh and I took the car back. So, we'll get to know whether our efforts, especially with that crazy ass fan, are gonna pay off.
The winner of the first challenge, A3 Efficiency Challenge, is Team B.
And so we drove, we dined, we taped, we teared, we taped some more. This is us. But we heard that our competition only lost by a thin average of less than 1 kilometer per liter. Absolute props to them.